Well, hello, my beautiful Aquarians. Welcome to my channel. This is Baba Jolie here with a little bonus reading all about you. I've already cleansed your space and have meditated on your cards. For those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for all your wonderful likes, shares, and subscribes. I am truly grateful for all your beautiful energy. Just a little reminder though, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one reading, just so you're aware. Also, please be mindful, scammers are about, pretending to be me and lots of other tarot readers. I do not do personal readings, and I will never reach out to you personally to offer one. Also, I will never ask you for money, e-gifts, or donations. So if anyone masquerading as me asks for anything at all, please report them or ignore them. It is a scam, okay? Let's move straight on with your reading. Now, I'm using Gaia chimes, so please be mindful to turn down your volume if you are someone who is sensitive to sound, okay? So let us begin. Okay, my beautiful Aquarians, this is a little bonus reading all about you. Us tarot readers, we tend to focus on career, money, love, but we never ask how are you doing. So this reading is going to tap into what you're going through at this moment in time, how you're moving through this time period, and what lies on the other side. Now, I don't know if you noticed that the Gaia chimes, they seem to get into a bit of a rhythm, and then suddenly there was like an extra beat, or it's like a clash of energy, and it kind of like put things out of rhythm for a moment, and that happened on more than one occasion. So perhaps that's how you're feeling. I read energy, so I also read the cards. I scry at the same time and get messages from my guides at the same time as well. So perhaps you're feeling a little bit like just when you get into the rhythm of life or into the rhythm of something, suddenly something comes along to kind of like put a spoke in the wheel, or you feel that, you know, things have been a little bit overwhelming and it puts you out of rhythm for a little while. So perhaps that's something that you've been noticing. Now also, please fast forward this part if you don't want to hear it, but something unusual occurred when I was lighting your candle to start your reading. I do a little 10-minute meditation to check in with the energies and any images that come up there. I don't allow any of the images before the reading to influence the reading at all. I have to just witness and notice what comes up. Now, I went to, as usual, light the candle. When I opened the matchbox, I just sort of absent-mindedly at first took out a match, but it was attached to all of these other matches, okay? They're all attached. So what was interesting, normally I'd look at it and go, oh, interesting, you know, a clump of matches, whatever, and just ignore it. However, you know, what I did was I put it to the side just in case it would be relevant, and I got another match. I lit the candle, and what I do then after lighting the candle with the match, I put the match over the water to see any images, and then I put the match into the water to connect fully with the energy. And I kid you not, I saw the same sort of grid formation as the matches. And I was like, whoa, this is relevant. So I want you to take a look at this, okay? As you can see, there's 9 matches there, and they would normally form like a grid, 3, 3, and 3, but there's one match that's outside of the grid. So perhaps you're removing yourself from some sort of group, or perhaps there is a removal from a grid, or maybe you feel like you have one more move to make before you can complete something. You know, there's an interesting energy where this match, it feels like it doesn't belong, or it definitely belongs there, but it's not quite there yet. So maybe you are searching for your place in something for some of you. The image I saw in the water was 9 spots, circular shapes there, and they were all in the same grid formation. However, there was one outside of the grid. So either you're feeling a little bit on the outside looking in right now, or you feel like, you know, you need to stick together on something, but somehow you still feel like you're outside looking in, or perhaps, you know, you have one more move to complete something. I just thought it was interesting and maybe relevant, so I thought I'd mention it there. Yeah, just something I thought was interesting. So I'll move away from that energy and get straight to your reading. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aquarians what they need to know regarding their current situation at this time? Can you show me the foundation of what it is they're going through at this moment in time? We got the Hermit. Interesting, because that match is removed. And, you know, I wish you could see what I can see, but the spot is removed. So a lot of you may feel removed at this time, or you feel you must remove yourself at this time in order to limit distractions or protect your inner spark. Rediscover that spark within yourself. The foundation card there is the Hermit, so some of you may remove yourself or isolate yourself to contemplate something, or even honor your own private time. I mean, the Hermit tends to mean you're fed up with something, and you know, you're feeling like things are overwhelming. The Hermit, if you think about the nature of a hermit, they remove themselves from society because they feel like they don't align with the life philosophy or beliefs, and it's like to go inwards to really solidify your own inner core beliefs. So it could be that you're searching for inspiration at this time, or you're searching for your soul tribe, maybe even protecting your inner temple of peace at this moment in time. We have the Ace of Wands, trying to rediscover that spark within yourself there. We also have the Ace of Pentacles, 2 aces and a Hermit. So a lot of you, perhaps there's a new chapter, a new you forming here. And of course, a new chapter requires a new version of you. So either you're trying to start something new right now. We have the Empress energy. It's in the past position. Okay, so this can be a new era that you're entering right now. I'm only reading the uprights in the deck, so I just thought I'd mention that since that Empress came in the reverse, although I feel some of you have been neglecting your own needs, and perhaps you're making a declaration to self to reinvest in self at this time. A lot of you, we've got the World card, so an end of a cycle, completion and a new start. But also, I feel some of you may be looking at age, how old you are, your legacy. Can be that you're looking at you being young at heart. And you don't look your age, that's for sure, but it could be that, you know, you're noticing time passing and you're looking at your legacy and, you know, your ideas, and maybe thinking about having a family for some of you, or not for some of you, depending on your decisions there. We've got the 8 of Swords. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aquarians? What do they need to know right now? We have the 9 of Cups, 9. And 9 is important. So some of you, it can be that you feel like you need to make one more move before something is complete, because the World is there and that is completion. We got the Empress. This could be an idea. It could be something connected to your home space. We got the 6 of Wands, which is success. 8 of Swords can indicate some of you feel that one more move or that one more opportunity is not here yet. You know, the crossing is the Ace of Wands. So this can indicate that either you feel you have to wait for something, or perhaps you feel like there's been a false start in something. I mean, this feels very much like something outside of yourself at this time. So it could be connected to your goals, or your plans or something that you're hoping to achieve here. But something is close to completion. That is your overarching theme energy card. That's the potential position. The world is to complete. It is to have harmony. And for some of you, you're trying to override a fear or an anxiety and work out the best way to move forward on something. It's a difficult situation. For some of you, you may feel like it's out of your hands. Your hands are tied because that Eight of Swords is there. So, you know, at Three of Wands, it indicates waiting. You know, things are evolving right now. We've got the Tower, and we've also got the Knight of Cups. Okay, something that perhaps you feel like you have to come out of your comfort zone to achieve, it will be achieved. Knight of Cups is something being offered to you. It is you know, using your imagination for something that you want, and the universe delivering, because you have a Tower there, which can mean a surprise. And of course, this can indicate, you know, you being really proud of yourself. But I feel a lot of you, the Hermit, can indicate that you are feeling alone in a situation, or you have to do something alone. For some of you, this can be parenting, because you have the World there and this figure, of course, and the Empress energy. I have to acknowledge the cards that you got can indicate, you know, raising a family. And it can be just thoughts about raising a family at this time, whether you want one or not, whether you want to go down that route. These may be decisions that you're making at this moment in time. But I feel with the Eight of Swords there, this can indicate that, you know, there's some sort of new knowledge that requires your attention, or it can indicate that you have to stay still in this moment for some sort of new kind of like portal to open up for you before you can complete the next stage of something. Okay, again, it comes back to these matches is what I feel. You know, something is just on the outside and it's about to, you know, really take shape, as it were. It's going to be formalized. Yeah, so I'm going to leave that there. I mean, it is a 9. You got the 9 of Cups, which is a wish being fulfilled here, okay? But let's not have this as something outside of yourself, because let's bring it back to your energy. But I do feel a lot of you with that 3 of Wands there and the Empress in the past position, it can tell me that a lot of you, you know, tend to really care about everyone in your immediate circumstances. You're an overgiver. You offer unconditional love. You're someone who cares so much about people that you don't like to let them down, as it were. And you're learning that your happiness is not tied up with another person. Even though, you know, you can create harmony in relationships and the people around you, I feel this is your time for something. The Hermit is to withdraw. So it can be that you're fed up with something. I mean, for some of you, the World is there. So this can indicate with that Hermit energy that you have a lot on your mind right now, and you have a lot of wisdom, and you're really deeply thinking about, you know, the way forward on something, because the Hermit tends to move in the dark. That's why they have the lantern. It's like they're only given the light to see one foot in front of the other as they take a path that tends to be a little bit uncertain. But because you've had so many lessons and you are very knowledgeable, it can be that you're going to imply that knowledge to your situation, and it will help you move forward. So you could be thinking about the world events, you know, pretty volatile energy going on in the world at the moment, and you could be thinking about how to protect you or your family against some of these things that are going on. And this could be, you know, you thinking how it may affect you or your family. Not directly for some of you. It can be that you're trying to protect your finances, for example. Economically, things are going to shift based on all of these events as well. You know, we'll see increases of things, and, you know, so it can be that you are looking at the nature of upheaval, because you have the Tower there. Things that are outside of your circumstances at the moment, there's critical energy going on. And the Hermit indicates, for some of you, you're so fed up of constantly living in this place of fear, because we've got the Eight of Swords there. Fear is connected to the Eight of Swords, worry. Okay, so it can indicate that some of you are looking at the things that you're worried about right now, because the Eight of Swords is present. And it can be that you're reviewing, you're taking stock in order to bring your worries into perspective and utilize your knowledge in order to help you in your situation. because this is a card of contemplation, thinking about the next steps. But let's again take it back to self, because again, I keep being pulled outside of the energy, which means a lot of you have so much on your mind. You're pretty exhausted. This is a need to withdraw, to regenerate your energy. I feel like you're depleted and drained in your energy. And, the Hermit rarely goes into the cave or seeks solace unless they're feeling completely fed up or even at odds with their world. So some of you may have noticed that friendships, because you have a Three of Wands there, which can be about group activity, you may notice that friendships are evolving, that you're maturing, you're spiritually evolving, and it can be that you feel different somehow, maybe even not aligned with some of the people that you used to be aligned with, or even hobbies or things that you used to love just hit different now. And some of you, I feel, especially with that Tower, the Tower is an awakening. It is a shock. It can indicate that you have been going through a restructure in life. And if you've come to this reading and you've been through a foundational shock, or you feel that something is completely, abruptly changed in your life, I'm sending you a huge hug out there. I can see that a lot of you are recalibrating there with that Hermit energy and withdrawing in order to think about the necessary next steps. But the Knight of Cups can indicate that there is going to be an ideal situation on the other side of the restructure. Okay, whatever that means for you, of course. It's not going to connect to everybody, but the Hermit can indicate you feel alone in a situation or isolated in a situation, and you could be searching for soul tribe members at this time. You could have also been given a bit of a wake-up call in your life to withdraw from something that perhaps has not been healthy for you or not helping you in some way, especially when it comes to energy levels, because you have an Ace of Wands right there. Wands are all about energy. They're about passion. Some of you may have felt that there's been a shift inside of your body because, of course, you have two major body cards there with the World card and the Empress. It could be that you're noticing hormones fluctuating, and perhaps for some of you with that Tower, intense hot flushes if you're going through a change in your body in some way. For some of you, it could be something that you're trying to manage as a symptom in your body if you have been feeling pretty exhausted or drained, or if you've been dealing with something for a long time where you've had to manage certain symptoms. It can be exhausting that you're just when you feel like you're on top of things, suddenly, something shifts and you just feel like it all comes crashing down again. You were making headway on something and then suddenly it just feels like, again, you're out of sorts with the environment or out of sorts in your body with something. So please apply it to your situation. That's the energy that's coming out right now. The Hermit card, it says contemplation, solitude, and insight. In silence, wisdom is delivered. Okay, so I feel with that Eight of Swords, you need to be aware that you're protected in your circumstances right now. The Eight of Swords always has a figure that is rooted to the spot, almost feeling bound to a situation, feeling a bit stuck in something, okay? So if you're feeling like you're in a routine or a relationship or a habit or something where there is a repetitive cycle and you're just feeling stuck, you're exhausted and fed up with the whole situation, even if it is like having the same argument with a person, you're like, oh, here we go again. I feel a lot of you are so fed up, you're removing yourself from this because you're like, how many times can we do this? Just going to stop it there. So you may shock somebody by saying, I'm not engaging in this anymore. I'm withdrawing. I've had enough, okay? We don't seem to get past a certain point. So what's the point in going round and round circles when it always ends up with the same outcome? Because the World card can indicate the outcome of something. So you're removing yourself or doing something to transform it in some way. So with that Hermit, I feel you're deep in thought about something anyway. And the Tower is an outcome energy. It feels like you're set free. And because you have a near future position of the Eight of Swords, for some of you, this is worry, or this is anxiety or fear about something. Okay, so it can be with that Tower that you're locked in fear about something and you're bringing your worries into perspective and you're waiting to find out some information first before you can decide whether or not it's a good or bad situation, because the Tower is just a surprise. It's an opportunity to release yourself from something that could have kept you stuck. So, if you're waiting on news, and you're worried about this news, it can be the Tower is a shock, it's delivered, it changes everything, but the Knight of Cups that popped out with it indicates that it's a welcome surprise. It's something that is positive. It can be the vision that you've been holding true as the outcome. Sometimes when we have a Tower, it's really about our thoughts. Because, if we catastrophize a situation, humans tend to think about worst case scenarios so that you're prepared. Because you've got a 3 of Wands there, which is to prepare. It is like, okay, I'm just going to be in preparation mode because then I will not be taken unawares. Now, this can be financially. It can be in terms of world events. It can be in terms of a relationship, especially if you've been hurt in the past. If you have been through challenging relationships or betrayed in the past, it can shape who you are. The Tower is to rebuild or to structure something. So it can be, as a protective measure, you've structured yourself so that people, especially in a relationship, they can get to know you, but, you've got that hard shield. It's really hard to get really through because you're protecting yourself. So you may note that you're protecting yourself and being vigilant, guarding yourself because you've been hurt before. So I feel a lot of you are breaking down walls right now in order to let the right things into your life, whether these are friendships, relationships. I mean, for some of you, the Hermit, right through to the Tower and the Knight of Cups, this can mean that you're alone right now, you're single. And it can be that you've been single a long time, almost to the point where, especially since the Empress is in the past position, you may feel that it was easier to attract people when you were younger or in the past. You're a very attractive person and you are lovable, but also you actually offer unconditional love and you deserve to be loved. You're not going to be single forever. I can see here that you may even get a shock that suddenly, out of the blue, love visits you. Knight of Cups is love. It is, someone coming towards you and giving you a compliment, and there's a romantic sort of motive behind it. It says romantic, following one's heart, idealistic. So a lot of you, there is this energy of even protecting a dream and deciding, I want to go for something. I don't care what people think about how I run my life. I feel like you're prioritizing your own needs after a long period of perhaps prioritizing other people's. And now you're saying, I'm going to go for it. I'm going to launch it. I'm going to do it. You may be uncertain because when you reach for something that you really care about, that you're going to be so successful in, and the universe is going to support this because there's a goal here. The world tends to be a goal card. It means you will reach your goal. And I feel like you're going to be very successful in it. It could be you birthing an idea. But, the Knight of Cups indicates that you'll be offered the dream that you wanted. The dream becomes a reality, okay? So it can be that, you're encouraged by the universe to follow your heart at this time, and you'll be surprised at what you can conquer. A lot of you, especially when it comes to a family as well, because we have so many indications of pregnancy or family or children, it can be that you're worried about the state of the world right now and, raising a family. It's a lot of pressure. The Tower can be pressure. It can be that, you are trying to defend your domain, as it were, and protect your family and, just enjoy yourselves and integrate, because the World card is an integration card. It can be that you're raising the next generation and it's a lot of pressure. And you love your family, but also there's worry. As a parent, there's always going to be worry, but you can allow that worry to keep you rooted to the spot in fear, or you can say, you know what? I'm going to do the best job I can and guide the next generation, and I'm just going to have a lot of fun along the way. So I feel there is this balance, okay? And again, of course, not everybody is a parent out there, but these could be thoughts that are going through your head right now, or, this can be you looking at the world or your world and bringing your worries into perspective because you're about to do something that is monumental, that is going to empower you. And just when you're about to do something so spectacular, like this, look at this figure. This figure is doing a cartwheel. There's celebration there, okay? And the Tower is to take a leap of faith. The Eight of Swords can be those doubts, those intrusive thoughts just before you're about to do something. Even if it's something personal, like, a personal development project. It can be that sometimes we go, I'm going to do this, I'm going to transform this, and I'm going to make it happen, because tension and feeling frustrated in your current circumstances says something needs to change. But then suddenly, as you start to do it, you go, well, I probably can't do it, but I'm going to try. Suddenly the thoughts are starting to shift. Then suddenly, if you're not seeing the results as quickly as you would like, because this is a very fast-paced card, and because it's in the crossing position, you read it in the reverse as well. It can be, I'm not seeing the evidence of things transforming as quickly as I thought. So therefore, maybe it's not going to happen. So therefore, the doubt steps in. Okay, the Tower can be a mindset reset, as it were. It can be that suddenly you're having like a major epiphany on how to have a breakthrough. And the universe supports it and offers you that opportunity, because with that Three of Wands, it tells me that you're aligned with your heart's desire. And the Ace of Wands can be that spark, that vision. So a lot of you are exhausted right now, and you're trying to rediscover that spark within yourself. Life is hard, it is challenging, and you have been through a lot. You are someone who has a lot of acquired knowledge as well as natural knowledge. You're someone who's established in life. You're someone who's beautiful both inside and out. And as you mature, of course, you may feel a little bit more exhausted or even jaded with the world. You're trying to keep things sparking, as it were, keep the adventure alive. And it says here, creation, willpower, inspiration. So a lot of you are doing a deep dive right now on the next steps, on transforming your life in some way, and it'll be different for everybody, but I feel this is a new adventure. You may feel that a new start needs to happen, or you're trying to gain enlightenment to step into your personal power, your primal power there, and have all that energy, gather it up to make a major transformation in your life. And some of you are waiting for that call, or you're waiting for a letter, or you're waiting for something, because there is a Three of Wands here, which is the wait, and the Ace of Wands in this position can indicate communication or some sort of phone call, letter, communication, text message, whatever it is. You may be waiting for that moment to hear back on something, and the outcome could shock you, but the Knight of Cups tells me that it is an ideal situation long term, whatever this is, okay? So we do have that Ace of Pentacles, an opportunity. Now, a lot of you, when you kind of apply this to yourself, you're trying to ground yourself at this time. You may feel that intrusive thoughts or things that are going on outside of yourself right now have the potential to knock you off balance or keep you rooted in worry or anxiety about something. But I feel this is about you guarding your inner peace at this time, and this card can indicate that you are focused on a plan. Okay, now of course a lot of you can be focused on your energy levels because of the Ace of Wands in the resistance position there. It can be that you actually consult a practitioner who will identify that for some of you there may be some sort of vitamin deficiency here. I feel there's one vitamin that is low, and I'm not a medical practitioner, but when you get an Ace of Pentacles, it can be someone gives you some advice about bodily functions, and aces can connect to a vitamin, for example. So it could be that you're consulting someone who has the professionalism and the qualifications to actually give you advice, a mentor on how to get all of your vitamins. The World card can be, the completion, that you're getting everything as a whole so that your body feels a little bit more fulfilled. So a lot of you could be going through that at this time. Some of you, it may have been affecting your eyes with that Eight of Swords. It can be that perhaps there's been excess sugar rushes. This is a hit of something. Ace of Wands can be an energy boost of something, or, something that, like caffeine, for example, a boost of something that perhaps has been impacting your body in some way and causing some sort of monumental shift or flush, shall we say, there, or something has been aggravating something that perhaps you've been managing for some time. Because the Tower is like something is structured, right? And then the lightning bolt comes and hits it. So it's like suddenly there's a flare-up of something that perhaps you've had long term. You may have been experiencing this recently, and with that Hermit, you may decide to withdraw from this trigger point, shall we say, or flash point that actually gives you some sort of increase in your symptoms or flares something up. For example, for some of you, this could be psoriasis, or, you know, that something that's connected to anxiety there because of that Eight of Swords. So please apply it to your situation. But I do feel here you will conquer this, or you will be given advice from a practitioner who can help you feel back to best, okay? Or at least be able to manage your symptoms there as well. So again, with a lot of love and respect, I'm going to remove from this energy. I feel with this Ace of Pentacles, a lot of you are starting something new. Now, if you're starting something new, this can indicate that you've had to reject a certain path or let go of something in order to be curious in another direction. So with that Empress energy, it tells me you're not starting from scratch, you're starting from experience. And for some of you, this could be like the seed of an idea, but also it can be the grounding where you feel like home. And for some of you, you are reigniting that spark within yourself and discovering more about yourself, what you're capable of. And I feel there's an energy here, of course, of earthing, but also rediscovering a part of yourself that you feel like you've lost touch with. But also this is material security. So a lot of you could be worried about finances right now, or just security in general, the foundation of security based on it opposing the World card there, okay? So these could be thoughts. I cannot ignore the fact that there's so many levels in life. Things that we worry about, our family, our friends, our health, our circumstances, our money, the world. It can be a lot. So right now I feel like you're going through so much. You're feeling under a lot of pressure. The Tower can indicate stress or strain, okay, or at capacity in your life right now. And I'm only mentioning that because no matter your circumstances, I'm seeing a game of Twister in the water, okay? So it can be that you're bending over backwards to try and make life work. Now, I can't really see the full Twister board, so I cannot really tell you how many circles. There's more circles. How many circles are on a Twister board? I mean, it's normally a mat. I can see, oh my gosh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I can see 6, 7. I can see 8. I can't believe it. But then it goes cloudy on one side. So again, it's this grid. Is it 9 or 12 circles? I can't tell you, but I can see that there is a circle. There's 2 circles here, okay, and I can't see this one. If there's got to be one there because they're normally in a grid formation, and I'm seeing 2 lines of 3 there. So again, it comes back to this, but I can't see the alternative 9th circle in the water on that game of Twister. So I'm gathering from that again that there's like a couple of moves before completing something for some of you, or it can be that you're bending over backwards in life and you feel under strain. You're trying to remain flexible at this time. And perhaps there's other people involved because we have that 3 of Wands. This could be connected to your family, your friends, soul tribe members, or, I mean, I'm not seeing anyone play the game of Twister there. I'm just seeing the mat of Twister. So it can be that right now you feel alone in something, or maybe there's some power play or someone playing games, or you feel right now that you're having to re-exert your boundaries on something, healthier boundaries. So I'll leave that there. I'm not really sure what I'm being given with it, but somehow it connects to the matches and the circles that I saw earlier. So maybe this is something relevant, but let's move on from that. I mean, it says here, opportunity, prosperity, and new venture. This could be you finding a home in a new neighborhood, or a new job, or a new idea that will bring in money in order to make sure that you're secure financially. This is the foundation, this is the seed, and the Hermit is to search for inspiration. Some of you are so exhausted and under pressure that sometimes it's really hard to be inspired because you're depleted in your energy and drained. So I feel a lot of you need to implement some self-care routines. And maybe this is a declaration to self that you've been promising yourself to do this, but you never get round to it, because the Ace of Wands can be that every time you try and do something, suddenly, you know, there's an activity that you need to adhere to, or you have to do something else. You have to prioritize something else other than your needs. But I feel you're being asked to withdraw and have quiet time, or implement some sort of self-care routine there. This is also a card that highlights you nurturing your body in a different way. So you can be looking at diets, exercise routines, being more active, for example, especially if you've had a bit of a wake-up call regarding blood pressure or cortisol levels or stress levels, so please apply it to your situation. It's going to be different for everybody. But with that Knight of Cups, I feel that vitality returns. This is your spirits returning. This is about you kind of like revitalizing your spirits and feeling on top of the world again. So whatever it is that you've been called to do or pay attention to, I feel like you get the best out of the situation long term, because you may have had that wake-up call with that Tower. But if some of you have come to this reading and you've gone through a shock, okay, it is a monumental shift. With the Hermit, it may have left you feeling a little bit numb or a little bit like trying to work out and recalibrate your life as to what to do next. And I'm sending you a huge hug out there, because it feels like you're in a very sort of like still position right now in order to contemplate, some sort of new era in your life. And it can be discombobulating in some way. And with that Three of Wands, with the Six of Wands and the Nine of Cups, it just feels like you're protected. With that Eight of Swords, you're protected. Someone resides over you. There's divine intervention here, and there's so much love around you, and you're going through these challenging times, but you will come out the other side, and you will be victorious in something as well, because it feels like you're accomplishing something. Six of Wands is to be seen. It is to step into the limelight. It is to be conquering something. And the Empress is in the past position, so this can indicate that you are nurturing something, an idea or your family or a way of living. And you're making sure that it benefits you in some way. You're leading with love. There's an energy here of kindness. And of course, the next card is the World, so it can be that you're trying to reshape your part of the world. We all have a little patch of the world that we can call our own, and you're trying to give love to people around you. You're trying to exact care and be charitable and, acknowledge that everybody's going through something, including yourself. And we may not talk about it, but we must respect other people, because we don't know what they're going through. They don't know what we're going through, and we must approach people with love and care until such time as they give us a reason not to, of course. And then we adjust our boundaries and make sure that they do not undervalue us or underestimate us. So some of you may have felt unappreciated in the past, and you're trying to recalibrate and step into that primal power to erect healthier boundaries there. But the Empress energy, it says beauty, fertility, and nurturing. Now, of course, for some of you, you may have had issues with fertility, because fertility is mentioned on this card. The World card actually has a pregnant person on there as well, okay? And the Eight of Swords can indicate feeling stuck. So some of you may be going through some sort of treatment, IVF treatment and things like that. And the Tower can represent a sudden breakthrough. And the Knight of Cups can indicate that suddenly your vision of having a child suddenly becomes your reality, okay? So please apply it to your situation. There is a bit of a wait there, but this can be growth of your family. It can be, that suddenly you make it happen. Especially since the Empress energy can be a person who has the ability to have a child is at a certain age. So as you mature, some of you may be worried that you are going to miss the opportunity to have children, for example. And not everybody wants to have children, of course. And that may be that you've decided not to have children. And you may shock people, and they are going to, of course, have their 2 cents about how they feel about that. But that's not anything to do with them. This is your life, and you're running it your way. So I feel a lot of you, because of the cards that have popped out, you could be thinking about the next generation and your legacy as well there. So again, I'm sending you a huge hug out there and so much love. It seems to be bringing me outside with all of these thoughts flowing. So perhaps a lot of you have a lot on your mind right now. But the Empress is to be abundant. Okay, it is to nurture ideas. It is to recognize that something that you would love to have in your life, it requires effort, quick thinking, of course, but also it requires you to pool all your resources, and with success comes a lot of pressure, because there is a Six of Wands there, which is all about success. So if you want something and you want it bad, it's always going to come at a cost. And sometimes that cost is pressure. However, with that Three of Wands energy, it indicates when you trust the process and you're aligned with your heart's purpose, you will have a breakthrough. The universe supports your endeavors. So I feel like you're staying true to who you are and what you want right now, and you're trying to protect the vision of what it is. And even if it causes you a little bit worry or you're a little bit anxious, you're not sure how things are going to go, I feel you are going to have a breakthrough, and that's going to be apparent very, very soon for you as well. Now, of course, the Empress energy can be that some of you are noticing your looks a lot more as you mature, okay? So it can be that you're implementing beauty routines and perhaps you're nurturing yourself in a different way. For some of you with that Ace of Wands, I mean, this is again something outside of yourself, but I have to acknowledge it because it's come through. Some of you may have used a certain beauty product that becomes extinct, shall we say, gets taken off the shelves perhaps, and it's not sold anymore, as it were. So I feel some of you may actually have to ship it from overseas with that World card energy. Three of Wands, you may have to wait a long time for that shipment, but there could be some sort of trade issue based on what's going on in the world, and it can be that you won't get that product for a long time, okay? And you'll have to wait, but it will get there eventually, but you'll have to wait. Again, this is something outside of yourself, and my readings are never about this, but it just popped out there, so perhaps it's something that you're thinking about right now that's just popped in there. But the World card, it is in a potential position, which means you're going to be fulfilled. There's a completion here, whatever this is. I mean, if you're currently pregnant, the Eight of Swords can indicate that you're worried. You know, it's a big change in your body. And of course, the Knight of Cups, you're going to love the outcome, of course. The Tower can indicate that, you know, there's certain procedures or structures that you'll have to follow, and, you know, baby may even come early. You're expecting baby at a certain time, but suddenly baby has other ideas. Now, of course, this reading's not meant to be about pregnancy, but it's, you know, coming out quite a lot in this reading. So perhaps someone out there has very intense thoughts about this at this moment in time, but I want you to be aware there's nothing to worry about because, of course, the Knight of Cups is your end card there. Also, with the World card, this can be you completing a goal, but also feeling fulfilled. Happiness comes from within. So the World card can be that some of you are thinking about relocating or migrating your life in some way, going overseas. And it can be that, especially since the Empress is here, it could be that you're moving away from family, especially parents, guardians, and you could be worried about this shift. You love them so much, you want to, you know, be near them, but at the same time, you've got to live your life. And it can be that adapting to a new way of life away from them is going to be hard and shocking in some way with that Tower, and chaotic. But, you know, they can come and see you, and they can, you know, have a wonderful time with you, a vacation, you know, so it's like you're not stuck. But at the same time, you may worry about these things because you may be at a distance, because a World card can be distance when it is applied with a Three of Wands there. But I feel like you'll be in constant contact there too. It says here, fulfillment, harmony, and completion. So whatever it is you're worried about, because I feel there is worry here with that Eight of Swords. And some of you, because 8 is the nature of, you know, connecting to yourself. 8 is the number of the self. It can be that you're worried about something to do with you right now. Whether it's a goal, whether it is yourself. I feel there is an energy here of having a wake-up call, getting some new information, but on the other side of this wake-up call, and this information is a really positive outcome. So again, please apply it to your situation. The World card indicates that everything comes together. So like those matches there, and it is number 9, you have a 9 of Cups, everything comes together as it should. So there really is nothing to worry about. And of course, the World energy can be a balance or an alignment in your body, but also it can be planting new roots. A fresh new cycle, a new era is upon you, and you're feeling lighter. So you could be cathartically letting something go. As you mature, you start to feel more comfortable in your own skin. You reshape your reality. You know, your past shaped you, but you may reprogram and, empower yourself by not allowing the past to rob you of joy in the present moment. But some of you with this Eight of Swords, this can indicate that you're feeling a little bit stuck, or you're afraid of being stuck in the future based on a decision that you're making right now. The Eight of Swords often connects to the word fear, false evidence appearing real. So you're bringing your worries into perspective in order to see where you feel stuck right now and how you can transform your situation for the better. So it says here, imprisonment, entrapment, and self-victimization. Now, that deck, of course, has decided those words for this card, but the history of the Eight of Swords is to find yourself in a difficult situation and feel stuck or restricted or held back, sometimes by your own thoughts of fear. For some of you, this can be that you're waiting to find out the truth. And I feel, looking at the energy with that Hermit, you're thinking about something, you're actioning it. The Ace of Pentacles, you're invested. You've decided to nurture something, something you're involved in already, because the Empress is in the past position. And the World card indicates you will complete it. It's going to be fine. You're going to finish what you start. But the Eight of Swords can indicate that you're waiting for results. So if you've just been educating yourself, for example, because Eight of Swords is new knowledge, as you can see the owl is descending from the pyramid. So in silence, wisdom is delivered. I feel a lot of you, because that Hermit is silence, of course, new knowledge will inform your situation. So if you're waiting for that call or that document, whatever it is, I feel like it sets you free. I feel with that Nine of Cups, it is the wish being fulfilled, but you're going to worry about it. That's just the nature of humans. We worry about things, and something means so much to you. Of course, you're going to worry about it. So I'm just going to pull a quick card on that Eight of Swords for you, okay? This can be to be really honest with yourself, to look at limitations and realize there's no limitation. The Tower is a limit. You could have reached your limit in something that's causing you frustration. But the lightning bolt hits the crown chakra on the Tower. The Tower can represent chakras, so I'm just highlighting that. But the lightning bolt hits the Tower, and basically it smashes through the glass ceiling. So a lot of you may feel that you have hit a limit in your life right now, and you're about to upgrade or move on to the next level in some way. This could be a spiritual awakening. It could be that you're having a breakthrough when you're meditating, or you're suddenly realizing something, or Four Wands, you'll celebrate this, whatever this is. I wanted to pull a card on that Eight of Swords. A lot of you, that Four of Wands is a reunion with self. You're reaching a milestone in your life, and you're suddenly discovering what you're capable of and how awesome you are. And this is to celebrate you and celebrate the moment. But also, this could be that you're feeling a little bit stuck in your neighborhood or in your current circumstances, or even in a group of people, because Four Wands can be to integrate in a group of people. And you're searching for a little bit more independence in some way, to strike out on your own or be creative. Maybe that match is removing itself from the grid, saying, I want to do my own thing. I'm lit. The Ace of Wands there is that spark. So the Hermit is searching for the spark. What brings me joy? What sets my soul on fire? Suddenly you discover the spark, and it sets you free, and you remove yourself from something to go off and do your own thing. The Four of Wands is an achievement. It means you took the time to sit with self and go inwards for answers, because that's exactly what the figure on the Eight of Swords is doing. When you think about the traditional Rider-Waite Tarot, the figure is bound to the spot. A difficult situation that seems worrying, but the swords are protecting. They're not actually threatening the person. They're grounded. They're protecting. And the figure is blindfolded, which means the other senses are coming to a higher kind of frequency. So, they're paying attention, they're listening, but they're also going inwards for answers. They're listening to their heart. And I feel a lot of you are listening to your heart on something, and you're breaking free from a limitation. If anyone said you can't do anything, you're like, watch me, I'm going to do it. And you're going to, and you're going to be successful, and the wish is going to become your reality, because you're taking action on something. You've got a plan, and you're seeing it through to the end. And nothing is going to stop you, because I feel with that Nine of Cups, you know, especially with the Six of Wands, there's a breakthrough here, a turning point. And that Four of Wands indicates you will celebrate. Four of Wands also means news comes in that sees you contemplate the next steps. And this could be a change of home or a change of job or a change of scenery, but it feels like there's a new era upon you and you will celebrate. But also it's a card of preparation, of peace, getting ready for something that will harmonize your life, or even taking a rest, you know, to recalibrate. I feel a lot of you are in need of a rest right now, but I do see here that there is a breakthrough. So the Eight of Swords can be positive, where you release yourself from a restriction or catastrophizing in a situation, doubt creeping in. You know, when you're about to do something monumental, because you can be that tower of power. The tower doesn't mean it's working against you. It means a structure is in place and the lightning bolt hits the structure. You're elevating in your frequency. A lightning bolt is a higher frequency, and suddenly everything that is not authentic and true is falling away and you're looking at what's left. The Eight of Swords is to see beyond and release oneself from denial. So if something's not working for you, if you have to let someone down or reject someone or walk away from something, I feel like you're honoring your own needs and saying, this is my time, I got to do this. I got to do this for me. Anyone who walks away on an Eight of Cups, now you didn't get an Eight of Cups, but you know, 8 is the number of the self, and you have a lot of start cards here, so it could be a restart or a freedom from. Anyone who rejects something that isn't working for them anymore, the universe rewards. And you've got that Nine of Cups here, which is the reward, okay? Now, this is your own advice position, so that means you're wishing for something. You just want to be happy. You know, you want to be content. You just want the simple things in life. Protect your family, you know, protect your friends, integrate. The World card can indicate that some of you are searching for soul tribe members, and a lot of you will find, you know, a friend for life connected to something creative at this time because of so many wands energies. The World is to integrate. The Hermit feels removed and alone. If you're noticing friendships changing, it can be that with the Eight of Swords, that you actually remove yourself from the situation to see if you can learn anything new about the situation. And the Tower, it can indicate who hears your silence in your friendship group. Who comes towards you and says, hey, Aquarius, you've been pretty quiet. You okay? These are your ride or die, the people who hear your silence. And I feel, you know, that's the true nature of friendship and love, and unconditional love at that, because a lot of you offer unconditional love to the people around you. So you may be witnessing at this time, because the Hermit can remove and witness people's interaction with your silence. It's not that you're testing anybody. I actually feel like you've been tested in life, but I feel like you're protecting yourself to try and work something out with groups of people. And I feel like you're finding who's got your back. And if you're currently searching for friendships because your current friendship circle has evolved and you're feeling pretty isolated, I mean, for some of you with that World card, it can be that there was some critical experiences that you had based on world events a couple of years ago, and it can be that everything shifted and changed and you're trying to recalibrate and rebuild, because the Tower can be to rebuild friendships or rebuild back best on your own and find new people, new friendships. So it can be that things have shifted in such a monumental way. With the Nine of Cups, I feel like you're now wishing for different things and you're finding that happiness within. It says here, satisfaction, luxury, emotional stability. And I do feel that you are finding that as you mature within yourself, body, mind, and soul. Now, circumstances outside of yourself, you have the Six of Wands. So whatever's going on around you, I feel like you will be appreciated, and I also feel like you will be seen and you will be understood. And also, there's success here. You have two major cards of success. The World card is a success card. The Six of Wands is victory. It literally says here, victory, success, and public reward. Now, I feel a lot of you have been through some stuff. And it can be with public reward on this card that some of you could write a self-help book or write about your experiences that could inform people to have like this connection and say, look, I've been through this and I got through it and I'm still standing, and you can do it too. So for some of you, you could share your story something that you felt alone in. It can be that you're trying to create this at this time and it's hard because you're reliving things, and it's also a cathartic experience as you set yourself free from it. But it can inform others and you share it with love, with that Knight of Cups energy. So a lot of you could actually end up being famous or known for your story globally. For some of you, I mean, this reading is about things inside of yourself. But if you're doing something where you're an influencer, or you are in some way, connecting to the world, this could be through social media, for example, you are affecting people. And it can be that people really see you and they see how strong you are and they raise you up. I mean, something that you do could go viral. But of course, this is a more grounded reading. Not everybody is an influencer and connected to those things. I feel more than anything, it is that you are conquering something that was a challenge. And suddenly you find the information or the knowledge that you seek at this time, whether you're learning more about yourself or whether you're learning more about something that you've been waiting for or trying to accomplish, you shall have it. Circumstances outside of yourself highlight that you are meant to succeed in this situation. No matter what you choose or do, you will be successful. So breathe and relax. What is meant for you will never pass you by. And I feel it's important to recognize that this Six of Wands, it can indicate that you're building in confidence and you're called to lead your life right now. Take ownership, take responsibility, be the leader. And sometimes being the leader means removing yourself from a situation. And if you're going through a spiritual awakening, which a lot of you are with that Tower, it's an awakening card, it can indicate it's an isolating experience. Sometimes you got to walk a path alone that people don't understand, but it really does enrich you and fulfill you. And then, of course, the right people will join you in that, or you will find the people who align with who you are right now. Because as I mentioned earlier, a new chapter requires a new version of you. And I feel like you're different in some way. So we've got that Three of Wands. This is a hope and a fear position. Some of you have been waiting a long time for something, and you may be worried that it's never going to come, but I can see that out of the blue it is going to come for you and you're going to love it. It could be an opportunity. It's going to be something that you want to grab with both hands. It's something you had in your imagination to inform your life. The vision. You're protecting the vision and you shall have it. Whether it's good health, whether it is wealth, whether it is a relationship, I feel like you're aligned to make this happen, to make this become your reality. And it says here with this Three of Wands, looking ahead, expansion, and rapid growth. So I can feel that a lot of you have had a major wake-up call, and I feel for some of you, you may worry that perhaps you should have done something about this before. But I wouldn't worry about that because I feel like you're having this epiphany or this realization now, okay? And it's come at the right time. Three of Wands normally means you're aligned to be in the right time at the right moment for the right opportunities, whether this is knowledge, whether this is a physical opportunity like a job or, a romance, whatever it is. I feel like you're aligned with your heart to get what you desire, okay? But also I feel the future is bright for you. Three of Wands normally means you're looking ahead and things look really positive, but because it's in a hope and a fear position, the Three of Wands can indicate that some of your plans have fallen through in the past. You may have experienced rejections or, problems and, setbacks in some way. And you feel that these things could happen again. But remember, what is meant for you will never pass you by. And I feel like you are in the right place in the right time. And there's something being delivered here that is connected to your heart. It's like the ideal situation. Sometimes the universe will put us on pause on purpose. This Eight of Swords can be you being stuck or restricted in some way right now because the time is not right. And, there's been many times in my life where I've been frustrated with something and said, oh, you know what? If I'm stuck in traffic, I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm going to be late for this thing. And then I find out that there's been some sort of crisis ahead that if I had been on time, I could have been involved with, and it could have been really negative for me. You got to trust the process. Sometimes there's a reason for delays. This could also be that, there's a delay because there's new knowledge that needs to be delivered or new information or something new created before you can actually get the best out of the situation, the wish or the ideal situation, for example, but you should have it. I feel it's definitely going to be a breakthrough here for you, and it's something you will celebrate. You know, this is you waiting, watching, paying attention, and having patience. And I feel like you've had a lot of patience here, but you're nurturing something to the very end. You're not giving up on something, and you shall have that breakthrough. And the Tower, I feel, is that breakthrough. As you can see there is 2 camels on this card. So this means that you have gone through testing times. It means you're resourceful. It means that you can weather transformative environments, even austere environments, turbulent environments. The sand is a very sparse environment, but there's still growth in deserts. So I feel like you're the sort of person right now that even though there's challenge, you will find a way to make things work. Okay? And the Tower can be that you've been locked in something, or you've reached a certain point, for example, and you're now breaking through to the other side. So let me just see what this Tower is for you. I'm just going to pull a card because it is an outcome energy. Okay, thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aquarians? What does the Tower mean for my beautiful Aquarians as this outcome energy? Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Page of Swords. That's an Aquarius card. So this can indicate that suddenly you feel back to best. Page of Swords can indicate that suddenly you rediscover a part of yourself that you've lost touch with. Suddenly you're curious. You know, Page of Swords is information coming towards you, the news that you've been waiting for. Pages deliver news. So this can be some shocking news that you've been waiting for, but actually the Knight of Cups is indicating that it will be a positive outcome. Maybe it's something that needs to be investigated first, or it requires your attention. It can be to be vigilant so that you don't reach a critical point. If, for example, you're under a lot of stress. You know, Page of Swords can also be an idea out of the blue that sets you free. I'm going to pull one more because I feel more than anything, this is about you kind of like honing in on something that you want. Okay, as you see, this figure is like choosing a path, has had an idea and said, I want this. And the universe is making sure that it's going to happen. So let's go one more. Thank you so much, Spirit Guides, Guardian Angels. Can you please guide my beautiful Aquarians? What do they need to know? I mean, the Page of Swords is quick thinking, is shrewd, is a good negotiator. It can also be that you're taking command of intrusive thoughts. So I feel a lot of you are investigating something right now. Ace of Wands. The thing that has been the obstacle is being delivered. We've got the Hierophant and we've got the Ace of Wands. Isn't this incredible? Hierophant is knowledge. It is wisdom. It is having belief and faith that the knowledge you seek shall be connected to you. And the Ace of Wands is the breakthrough. It's the energy point. It's the spark. It's literally the match that's being lit. And this is the thing that has been crossing. A crossing position in a Celtic cross means the problem, okay, or the obstacle, or the thing that you feel like you don't have right now that you desire. And Ace of Wands can be desire itself. It can be that suddenly, you know, your libido returns or your passion returns. If you feel like you've been laying dormant, or you've been in kind of like isolation mode, or you've been in fight or flight mode, can be that you've had a trauma response after the last couple of years. It can be that you are, you know, always kind of on edge with that Eight of Swords, feeling anxious of the path ahead. But suddenly you have a breakthrough where you feel more confident, and suddenly you are reigniting that passion, that spark within you. The energy is changing, shifting. But also it can be the vision of what you see for your future becoming your reality. There's a new adventure here. And I feel a lot of you, this is connected to an idea that you have been nurturing, or that you have been, you know, investing all your energy into. I mean, for some of you, the Tower, if you've gone through a separation in the past and you've been on your own for a long time and you've been hoping for love, but it's never come your way. This can literally mean that there's a spark between you and someone that you're really curious about, and it takes you by surprise. It's love because you've got the Knight of Cups there, and the Hierophant energy indicates, oops, it ends in marriage. Okay, so maybe that's a surprise. Oops, oh wow, I just found someone and we're getting married. So this can be something that you've been desiring for a long time, but of course not everybody wants that, and some of you are already married, perhaps in a high level commitment. So this could be that you are reigniting that spark within your relationship. You know, life is challenging. You, and if you are with a partner, a lot of pressure going on to try and make everything work, and it can really chip away at, you know, the passion, or it can be really hard to keep things fresh. So it can be that suddenly you break free from a limit or a challenging situation or pressure in order to rediscover that spark and recognize there's so much love there. But both of you have been caught up in the struggle of life, and you haven't been able to give as much of yourselves to each other because there's been so much pressure. So whatever it is for you, it's going to be different for everyone, as I mentioned, but you're breaking free. And on the other side of that, the Knight of Cups indicates, you know, excitement and, you know, your visions becoming your reality. But also it can be an opportunity for you to follow your heart or be admired for something that you've been doing, and even being proud of yourself because you've come so far through this challenge. But that Tower is working for you. All the cards that popped out, I feel there may be some information that surprises you, but I feel it informs you in a really positive way. My guide said, read the bottom. So I think it's, yeah, romantic, following one's heart, idealistic. Okay, I mean, for some of you, that Tower and the Knight of Cups with the Eight of Swords can be that you're breaking free from an idealistic view and you're seeing things as they truly are in a friendship or a relationship or a circumstance, and you're feeling frustrated. You feel something needs to change. You don't want to enable a behavior that perhaps angers you or makes you feel limited somehow, or for some of you, lethargic. If it's a substance, for example, it could be that you're cutting something out. Now, to clarify your reading, I'm just taking some final cards from this deck. And the first card that popped out there, it says, you have so much to offer the world. Don't ever doubt your contribution. The fact that you got the World card there and you have so many aces pop out there as well for you, you know, this can indicate the effort. Don't ever doubt. The Eight of Swords can be fear or doubt. You're making a difference in your world. You're making an impact. Six of Wands tells me that you make an impact, and that you make an impact in everyday circumstances, people around you. Three of Wands in group activities, team events, your community in some way. Don't ever doubt it. Sometimes with a Hermit, you know, that can be that you're an old soul, and that carries a lot of responsibility, that sometimes even when you're integrated in group activities or even in your family, somehow you feel like you're always on the outside looking in. Maybe again, that's what that match means, that you're connected to people, but somehow you fit different. You know, that match is still stuck to the other matches. It fits, but it fits different. So a lot of you, it's like you fit different, and that's why you're here, to be unique, to stand out. Six of Wands is to stand out. So I guess, you know, the whole message, the core of the message is, you know, why hide yourself away with that Hermit when you're born to stand out? So I'm just going to go and get the final cards for you. So it says, you have so much to offer the world. Don't ever doubt your contribution. I just mentioned that, but I want to show you so you can see it there fully. And the next card you got there is, don't let people suck the air out of your spirit. Absolutely. Okay? Don't let anyone suck the air out of your spirit. If someone says you can't do something, say, okay, thanks very much. Just because they couldn't do it doesn't mean you can't. Okay? I feel a lot of you are going to prove some people wrong there with that Six of Wands. Also, and this came out a lot in your reading, there's more to know than what you currently know in the situation. So there's new knowledge about to be delivered here, and this is going to set you free. maybe it's information you're waiting for, but I feel it's cause for investigation, and then you can take action on something, but it's something that I feel will benefit you, okay? And finally, we've got, it was a necessary ending so that you can pursue the life that you're destined to lead. Leave the past behind. There's a lot of new beginnings here, a lot of new energy. So if you've gone through an ending, it was necessary so you can achieve your dreams. So you can get the life or the relationship or the opportunity, the lifestyle, whatever it is that you desire. And you shall have it. As I mentioned, when you tell the universe that you deserve better, or you reject something that you feel is not aligned with your sense of purpose, or is not conducive to your path, or even isn't healthy for you, the universe rewards and says, you had the courage to walk away from that and reject that, so here's a reward. I definitely see that happening here for you as well. I'm going to go and get a trinket or rune before we close. We've got a rabbit. Okay, so a rabbit can indicate multiplying wealth. It can also indicate libido, okay? But it also can indicate like amplifying abundance. There's always a rabbit, well, there's normally two, on a Queen of Pentacles energy. So it can represent security as well. Rabbits, they burrow underground. So with that hermit, it can be that you've been off grid or, out of sight for a while, perhaps removed, and now you're just coming up for air in some way. Okay, so I feel a lot of you, this is connected to security. It's connected to financial and material stability there as well, or even thinking of ways to safeguard your finances. Rabbits can also be about bizarre, I don't think they're actually connected to talking, but I'm hearing rabbit, 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 and I'm seeing mouths in the water, like talking. So rabbit, rabbit could be either my guide saying, you talk too much, or it can be that it's good to talk. If you're worried about something, it's good to talk. There is a support network here for you, and I feel there's one person in particular who really can help you break free from something, or has actually had an experience. This seems to be an older person as well, who's had more experience and can actually give you advice, because the Hierophant card came out there, and that can be an advice energy, and my guides are showing me that right now. And I feel my guide's also pointing at the this trinket here. It's coming out, Eight of Wands, movement forward, movement and improvement. But I feel there could be some sort of news or information that this person could give you to help you move forward in a situation. So I'm just going to leave that there. But the main energy I'm getting here is to prioritize oneself and commit to change. And you're going to see results, positive results of those changes. So I'll leave it there. I hope something resonates. That was very complex, and definitely lots of things came out. So either I'm being bombarded with all this energy from different people, or these are just lots of thoughts that are going on in your head right now, and you're trying to get things straight, and you're putting yourself under a lot of pressure thinking about all of these things. And it's like, prioritize your sense of purpose and the things that you truly wish for. Focus on those things, and that will limit the stress, so that you can lock onto one thing at a time and take the necessary steps towards your vision of the future, and it will become your reality, okay? So I'll leave it there. Thank you so much, my beautiful Aquarians, and love and light.